everyone, welcome back to Bake by Finn. My name is Finn and today I'm going to be showing you something I've wanted to do for so long on my channel, and it is how to do cupcakes. So the sponge for this is super simple. We have 150 grams of caster sugar, 150 grams of soft unsalted butter, 2 eggs, 150 grams of self-raising flour, a quarter of a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda and a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. We also need a cupcake tray with
12 cupcake spaces.
We also need a cupcake tray. This one fits 12, but that is basically it for this recipe. You also need some form of mixer. You can even do it by hand. I've done loads of cupcakes by hand before and they've always turned out fine, but I wanted to use a mixer today. So what we're going to do is pop our butter into the bowl. And then once that is in there, I'm going to add our caster sugar as well, and then we're just going to beat it for about 5 minutes until it's pale and fluffy. So this has been whipping for a few minutes now and it's gone nice and pale. So to this I'm going to add my vanilla, and you can add this at any stage really, but I don't know, just add it in here, that's what I normally do. So add about a teaspoon and a bit, and then the bit is very important by the way. And then, so as you can see, we've got like a load of beans on the spoon, so just sort of mix your eggs with them so then it sort of gets off into the eggs as well. So the next thing we're going to do is add our eggs to our butter and sugar. So what we're going to do now is turn our mix on sort of low to medium, and then just let that mix for a little bit just so the vanilla's incorporated, and then we're going to slowly add our eggs just so it doesn't curdle, because if we just go in all at once with these eggs then the mixture's going to curdle and it's going to look all weird, and then when it goes in the oven it won't rise as much as it should have done if it has curdled. But if you do think that it's going to start to curdle, then you can just add a little bit of flour. But there is only 2 eggs in this, so it probably won't. I'm getting my phone and recording it because I'm also making a TikTok. Also check me out on TikTok, Bake by Finn. Then once that's just mixed for a few seconds, grab a spatula or just a wooden spoon and scrape down the sides of the bowl, because you'll end up with a sort of pool of eggy butter and sugar and then just a thick layer of butter just scraped around the bowl. But if you just scrape it then it'll it'll incorporate. So you know when to add more egg, because the mixture will have gone really nice and smooth and fluffy, and it'll stop sort of looking a little bit curdly and it'll just go nice and smooth. Like this. So I added my eggs in 2 stages, so I'm just going to whack the rest in now. And then put it back on for a few more seconds, scrape down the sides of the bowl and then mix it again until it goes fluffy. So I've got my butter, sugar and eggs here, and it's gone nice and smooth now and it's not curdled at all, which is great. So now I'm going to add in my flour, and I've not sieved this because I generally don't sieve my flour because I think it's a bit of a waste of time, because I just don't like to. And I've not left my bowl on the mixer because I would just like to fold my flour through, just because I find if I just whack it on a mixer then it'll just sort of knock all of the air out that you've just spent a load of time whipping into the butter. So to this, I'm going to add just the tiniest bit of bicarbonate of soda. Add that in and then continue folding it through. And don't just mix a load through like really heavy handed, because you do want to keep all of the air in. And I forgot, I need to preheat my oven. Preheat your oven to 170. So I've got an ice cream scoop here, and this is just sort of a medium sized one, and you might be thinking, well, why have I got an ice cream scoop? And this is because I like to put my batter in it as if I'm scooping ice cream, and then add it into the cupcake case, because it just makes them all really even and you don't end up with cupcakes really big or really small compared to others, and it just sort of makes them look a little bit more uniform. Plus it's quite fun. So I've used all of my batter now, and I've got them all portioned into little cupcake cases, and now I just need to bake them for about 10 to 15 minutes until they've risen and they're nice and springy. So my cupcakes are baked now, and I've just put them in the fridge to cool down, and now's the time where we're going to decorate them. And with these cupcakes, they are really, really basic and great for beginners, and that's why I thought I'd start off with this sort of cupcake design, and then later on, maybe in the next video, I will show you how to do a more trendy, up-to-date cupcake version. All the recipes will still be the same, it'll just be sort of different ways of decorating them, which is maybe a little bit better when you start to become a little bit more sort of moving off from beginner. But these are really, really beginner friendly and great for kids. So I've got a big piping bag here with 1.5 cm round nozzle. And this is just like a big piping tip, so when we pipe it, it just comes out as like one big circle. And then I've also got a load of like these little sprinkles here, and I have no idea why I have these, and I didn't even know that I did have them, but yeah, I'm glad that I did, because once we have put some buttercream, this is actually chantilly cream, and then once we put that onto the top of the cupcakes, we're going to dip them in this, so it's sort of like a sprinkle top. Right, so I'm going to transfer the cream into the piping bag. Now you could use buttercream with this, you could use sort of Swiss meringue, Italian meringue, and if you did want to do Italian meringue, there is a great recipe of mine that you can find up here. When you're piping them, it's up to you. You can either take them out and like hold them when you're piping them, or you could just sort of leave them in the tray and they don't move around as much. But yeah, probably best to put this on like a sill path and it doesn't move. And I think I've got one in here. I have one in here. So then get that out, and then put the cupcake tray over it just so it doesn't move around as much and it's not too slippy. So get your bag and then twist the end, so no cream is going to come flying out the other end and you won't end up with it all over your hand. Believe me, this is a great tip. I cannot speak. This is a great tip and it'll just save the day, and if you do spill it, not the end of the world. So what we're going to do is, we're going to hold the piping bag over the cupcake, and then we're just going to apply a lot of pressure, and then slowly swirl around the cupcake, and it's up to you how much you want to put on. I've not gone for too much here, but because this is sort of like a really thick whipped cream, it won't sort of pipe like normal buttercream would, so as you can see it does sort of have ripples in it, and that is fine because we are going to cover them up with sprinkles, so don't worry. And then what you can do is just get a little spatula and just smooth it. Now this is optional and you really do not need to, but I just want to make it look a bit nicer. And also you don't need the sprinkles for this, you could probably just leave it as that, or maybe put like a little bit of melted chocolate on it, that would look really cool, or I don't know, what can you put on cupcakes? I don't know, flake? So I've got all my cupcakes here, and I'm going to get this bag of sprinkles, open it with great difficulty, and I'm just going to pour some, carefully because they just went everywhere, into a bowl. And just give them a little shake, and these are like the sort of ones you see in like American baking shows where it's like they're called Jimmy's or something like that, I don't know. And then I'm just going to grab the cupcake and dip it in and give it a little wiggle. And just make sure it's all coated and it looks like sort of a cartoony cupcake, which I actually quite like. I think it's quite nice for kids and beginners to do. Do you mind? So we're just going to carry on dipping the rest of them. There's always that one stage when you're baking something, when something's just really satisfying and you love doing it, and this is that moment for me. So these are the finished cupcakes now, and I'm so happy with how they turned out because I think they are absolutely great for beginners or even children that want to start getting into baking. So I'll definitely give these a go, and if you do, tag me on Instagram at BakedByFinn. And also make sure to check out my TikTok that I'm doing of these cupcakes. And yeah, that's it. See you next time. Bye!